In his true characteristic style, US President Donald Trump has once again stunned the world with his claim that he wants to intervene and he wants to mediate on the Kashmir issue to resolve the issue. Of course, and he says that this was at the behest that when he met Narendra Modi a few weeks ago, Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, had addressed this issue with him and told him that he wants him to mediate on this issue. Of course, Trump's lie, so to speak, has already been called out by the Indian Ministry of External Affairs. However, the repercussions remain and diplomatic circles all over the world are abuzz. Shishir, how do you see this playing out? I mean, India has already called it lie. Trump said what he said. Would you think that he just misinterpreted what Narendra Modi told him, or is this just yet another Trumpian blunder in his true characteristic style?
To my mind, it appears to be a Trumpian blunder, because Prime Minister Modi or any Prime Minister of India would not have made such an offer. And that too to the US President, because the Indian position is very well defined as far as Kashmir goes. It is a bilateral issue and it will remain a bilateral issue since the Shimla Agreement and the Lahore Declaration. So President Trump normally makes big statements before big meetings. Maybe that he, at a later stage he can deal with them as an American diplomat would put it. Like he made a statement before he started in the Osaka summit, saying that India was an unfair trade partner, and nothing really happened out of it. So what happens on the ground is that nothing changes in Kashmir. The Indian opposition can make statements, but the statements do not matter much because it remains to be a bilateral issue and it cannot be changed. It's a facile victory for Imran Khan because he can always go back and say that, listen, I got this carrot from President Trump, and sort of parrot it around. But the fact is, what really happens is it actually induces a huge amount of suspicion back into the Indo-US relationship. If you recall, in 2004, then Secretary of State Colin Powell, without telling India, had actually gone to Pakistan to declare Pakistan a major non-ally partner, non-NATO ally partner. And that didn't work well at all. So what it happens is actually he's introduced this element of suspicion into Indo-US relationship, and this will cause problems.
So this, when you say suspicions in Indo-US relationship, clearly the fact is that there are a lot of pending issues that the two nations are still trying to resolve, including trade issues, including the purchase of some arms from Russia, and so on and so forth. However, this again puts the cat among the pigeons. How do you see going forward? Do you think diplomatically it can be resolved, or because Trump is definitely not going to take a step back after making a statement like this?
See, I see no other way around, barring President Trump saying that this is not what actually happened. Because now trade is not the issue. Now buying of arms is not the issue. Now the issue is what he said. Because what has happened now is it brings the credibility of Prime Minister Modi and President Trump into question. Right. So somebody has to come out very clearly. And now, as far as India is concerned, Indian External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has made a statement categorically before both the houses of Parliament, saying nothing of the sort happened.
So you're basically saying that Trump is a liar, and Trump, to get up and accept the fact that he lied in front of international media, is going to be a tough pill. So do you see a very rough path ahead for Indo-US relations?
I don't think so. I see a rough path ahead, but let me tell you one thing very categorically. Prime Minister Modi does not back down. If nothing of the sort like this has happened, then President Trump will have to take the call. The ball is in his court.
What about Pakistan? Of course, you said that Imran Khan is claiming a facile victory and can claim a facile victory, which the Pakistani media is already going to town with it, because it's been there. It's a part of the narrative. It's been part of the narrative throughout to sort of somehow take Kashmir out of a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan and take it into the international stage. So it sort of plays into their hands completely.
See, there is something in diplomacy which is called changing the facts on the ground. Till such time the facts on the ground do not change. In Kashmir, nothing changes. You can write editorials, you can write huge articles, you can say whatever you have to say. The fact remains is Kashmir is a bilateral issue and will remain a bilateral issue. And second thing, India will not allow anybody, be it President Trump or any president, to intervene into it in such a cavalier fashion. And the whole thing is, it's the best, to my mind, the best thing would be that the US president should come out and spell out the facts.
Do you feel that the diplomatic circles in Washington itself, because I've seen some articles coming out and on social media, of course, diplomatic circles in Washington itself are, aghast at this sort of a statement from President Trump. Do you think, when you say that Mr. Modi is not going to, of course, take a step back on this, and so obviously Mr. Trump, we don't know, he's not the sort of man who's normally seen to, he makes a statement even though, he said African countries, there's some shithole countries in Africa and things like that. He's never really taken things back, which is why I'm continuing to stress on the point. How do you see it playing out? Is it going to be a rough road? Because you're saying that it's not going to be a rough road.
See, India is not Africa, first of all. Second thing is that the statement has been made by President Trump. It is for him to clarify, not any State Department, not any columnist, not any writer or reporter. He has to clarify. He has to also say whether he made this statement or whether he offered this carrot because he wants the Pakistan support in handling Afghanistan. Right. He has to say very clearly whether he needs Pakistan support to handle the Taliban. He has to say that. To my mind, it was brilliant tactics, but it is a very poor and a very stupid strategic statement to make.
Right. Thank you so much, Shishir. We'll keep coming back to you with more. Keep watching HindustanTimes.com. Shishir, of course, believes that President Trump will have to take back this statement. Let's see how that plays out on the ground in the diplomatic circles globally in the near future.